All right, you lot, listen to me. Okocha, I said, listen, mate. Now go sit on the naughty step. Go. Now, look, you embarrassed yourselves last episode, and more importantly, you embarrassed me. This is not why I came to this club. Now, we're going to get out there today, and you're going to have a much, much better performance, and make sure that we're securing European football next season. Just because the club's turning professional next year, doesn't mean you will be if you're playing like a bunch of amateurs. What? The youth intakes here, well, is any of them any good? Several of them are. Alright, well this improves my mood a little bit. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome to Season 7, Episode 14 here at H&W Welders. And today we try and rescue our season in terms of European football anyway. We go to Ballymena and then we host Linfield in two huge games for our season. But the big news since last episode is the youth intake, and look at this, we have got two potentially very good players indeed. It's about time, they all came at once. It's Ashley Ballard, first up, a ball-winning midfielder who looks as though he has all the key attributes, doesn't he, apart from the fickle personality, but hard-working, he's a decent tackler, he's got the aggression and the bravery. He could be a very good player for us indeed. And the other one is Mickey Bain, potentially a right back. We have a few young right backs at the club, but you can never have too many good young players coming through the system, so that's brilliant. Also coming through, Kirk Harwood, potentially a very good midfielder for us, so passing technique, they're what could let him down, but even at the level we're at, we're talking, sort of playing in the league, he could be a good player for us. And a couple of others as well. Roy Ward is not the worst. Potentially he could turn into a decent player for us. And the other one, he's from last year, is our Italian that inexplicably has turned up at our club. So there's a few there. Very promising youth intake. Finally, we've got some players that, even next season in cup games, the Ballard and Bain could very well find themselves playing in the first team. So really happy for once with the youth intake. Now, there is one game to catch you up on since last episode. That was a tough one. It was against Larne. Let's go see how we did. So, very happy to say, no highlights for this one. It was a 0-0 draw. A very good point for us, and we were 100% worth the point. You can see from XG, we actually did out XG them. Both teams, to be honest, both teams should have scored. It shouldn't have been 0-0, but it should have been a draw. They did miss a penalty, which is obviously helped their XG massively. But as I said, a draw was a fair result. We were well worth it, and I was just really happy with how we played. I have nothing else to say about it. Really excellent stuff. A massive point as well. If we look at the league table, we can see that we are a point back of Glentoran with a game in hand. Now, they have to play, they've got 2 games left. They've got to play Larne, and they've got to play, who's their other game against? Let's have a quick look at this. And they've got away to Ballymena. So, assuming that Larne beat them, and that's going to be taking place at the same time that we play Ballymena, we could find ourselves 2 points ahead of them with a game in hand. You can see the goal difference is more or less in our favour. So it could be a situation where, as long as we probably need 4 points, depending on how badly we lose to Linfield, it could be enough to get us across the line on goal difference, which we'll take. I should probably check that goal difference is a decisive thing. I'll do that right now, actually. We're not playing for goal difference. If it's head-to-head, it's goal difference. It is goal difference. So that is all looking as though it might just about work out with that point at Larne. It was huge. But let's go and see what happens here. We're about to go to Ballymena, and this is the team that we are sending out. We expect it's a 4-4-1-1 they always play. It is Taylor in goal for us, Okocha, Williams and Sobowale, Hall down the right, McCullough down the left, McQuaid and Willis in midfield, Simpson in behind, Thorne and McQuaid. Kugbo, of course, is tired after playing against Larne, so that's why he's on the bench for this one. But yeah, this is huge. Let's see what we do. Alright, so we can see the team sheets there. Shay Curran, of course, formerly of our parish. What do we want to say with the favourites for the reason? Go out there, leave them as to know. Maybe we do need to say something like that. Let's go with Sean Webb on this occasion and hopefully play well. Now, while waiting for the game to get underway, I do have to say a massive thank you to a new Patreon supporter of mine, Joseph Ekazian. I know I've mispronounced that twice now, but thank you so much. And well, just generally thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, but it's greatly, greatly appreciated. But as I say, it's never expected. If you are able to and you do enjoy the content, there's a link to the Patreon down in the description. But if not, like I say, just keep watching those ads for me. That is more than enough. Yeah, but a massive thank you. Oh, and William McQuaid, speaking of Patreon supporters, almost smashing us into a lead there. I should say, too, as you will know by now, I do like to name the new gen players after the Patreon guys. So if you're someone that qualifies for that, please do let me know. Oh, and second time of asking, William McQuaid has given us a lead, and it's a stunner. It's a first goal of the season. He doesn't get many. But I tell you what, he's got a magical one there. 25 minutes in, he had a sighter, didn't he? And then Willis absolutely stealing an assist. Look at that for a goal. That's up there with anything we've seen this season. It's 1-0, and that should be us up there in third. It is. We need Lan to do us a favour. Now, one thing I kind of alluded to it, but Linfield did win their semi-final, so the Irish Cup final, and McDade has intercepted that there. Now, what can he do? We know he can score anything from anywhere. He's got Willis forward with him. Is he going to go himself? He's got so many teammates in the box. He does square it, and McQuaid has got a double. William McQuaid. It's all down to McDade's work on that one, but McQuaid and McDade separated at birth, I think. Wonderful stuff. And it's 2-0, and that is a massive, massive goal. It gives us just that little bit of breathing space as well. McDade did brilliantly. Picked out, well, it hit Simpson on the backside, did it? Fell to McQuaid and made absolutely no mistake. I've had nightmares about McQuaid and McDade combining, but that was beautiful. Oh, McQuaid has now picked up an injury. What's he done to himself? Pause. It's moving too quick for me. I can't read that fast. It's a gashed upper leg. He's on a hat trick. Ah, McQuaid. What do we do with you? We'll take him off at half-time. But excellent, excellent stuff. So yeah, the Irish Cup final, it's going to be Coleraine versus Linfield. We need, obviously, Linfield to win that for us, and that will mean third is European football next year. Let us point our finger, say you're capable of better. We'll pump our fists, say we have faith in them. But we are getting the reaction I think we wanted and definitely needed after that debacle last episode where we got smashed by everything in sight, didn't we? Let's get Tipton on. He's not the best defensive player, but neither is Willis. Let's maybe switch them around anyway. And we'll go from there. Thorne and McDade obviously have in the past played well together, so hopefully they'll strike up another little combination here in this second half. We'll keep praising them. Lan, look at that, 4-0. Well, that not only does that mean that Glentoran's going to lose, that massively helps the goal difference for us as well, doesn't it? It was 4. It's going to improve for us by 6, so it's going to be a 10-goal swing, which is massive. You'd like to think we're not going to lose to Linfield by 10. Oh, we haven't won this goal. It's offside. Yeah, so that basically should mean that if we do hang on for this one, which we've seen us throw... Oh, that is very, very lucky. Okocha stepping up just in time. I'd actually make an argument with no VAR. That should have stood. Give the advantage to the attacking team, but we're happy to have it. Let's try demand more. If we can get a third goal, that should just about see it off. But yeah, with that 10-goal swing, or it's a little bit less than that now as Glentoran pull one back, that should mean now that a point against Carrick Rangers in the final game of the season should be enough. They've gone all out attack, but it means nothing to them now. It's a William McQuaid double, and well, we've still got about 2 minutes to play, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Can we get a third, though? Williams, forward to Willis. Back to Williams. Willis, back to Williams, spreads it wide for Hull. Thorne and McDade are there. He goes towards Thorne. Oscar Thorne puts the icing on the cake with a 14th of the season. And that is now that. We've beaten Ballymena 3-0. So much better. Where was this last episode, guys? It's been a very, very good performance against the Ballymena team that is 5th in the league. A distant 5th, but 5th nonetheless. And, well, we've absolutely put them away, haven't we? Excellent performance. Thorne with a nice finish. It doesn't matter because it was given as a goal, so who cares? And there we go. That is a very, very nice result indeed. 3-0, a McQuaid double, a Thorne late one, and very, very happy with that, boys. So there we go. With a game in hand, we find ourselves in third. Goal difference of 10. So that would mean if we were to take a point off of Linfield in this next game, it's more or less done. Not 100%, but more or less. McQuaid is out. Well, he's going to miss maybe the end of the season, actually. Up to 2 weeks. This must be a bad cut. Jesus. But what a performance it was from him. Guys, wait right there. We will face Linfield next. And before that, you have to vote for your Viewers Player of the Year. Okay, welcome back. It is time to vote on your Viewers Player of the Year. Thank you everybody who did nominate a player. Now, the way that I've worked out the 4 nominees is there were several players that only had the 1 nomination. So what I've done is, of those people, the ones with the highest average match rating, they're the ones that have been included. So in alphabetical order, we have Hamzat Kagbo as the first nominee. 15 goals this year for him, 4 assists, and an average match rating of 7.26. The second nominee is, of course, McDade. 11 goals, 4 assists, and an average match rating of 7.47. Not bad for half a season's work. The third nominee is William McQuaid. 2 goals, which we've just seen, of course. He knows when to score, doesn't he? 11 assists and an average match rating of 7.13. And the final nominee is Oscar Thorne. Again, we know he knows when to score. 14 goals this season for him, 3 assists, and an average match rating of 7.23. Now, the way this works, as it always does, is a link down top of the description below. Click on that. It'll take you through to a straw poll. Vote for who you think has been our best player or your favorite player this season, and we will announce the winner at next episode's end of season awards. But let's go take on Linfield right now. Alright, so we can see we're playing at the same time Lan and Ballymena are playing now. There's a very big title race on here, so unfortunately for us, Linfield has a lot to play for. So they're not going to be any sort of pushovers here, which they never are anyway. We can see we're expecting a 4-2-3-1 formation. All the guys that usually score against us are there, and this is a team that we're sending out. Now, I'm taking a calculated risk here in that we probably wouldn't beat them anyway, so we're going to keep what is our strongest team fit for the game against Carrick Rangers, so hopefully we'll put all our eggs in that basket and make sure that we get the job done there to make sure we're going to finish third. So it's Taylor in goal, it's Moran, Coyle, Edgar and Simpson as the back 4, own goal Gallagher as the defensive midfielder, Cundell and McLaughlin go in midfield, Ebeyoe in behind, Melvin Lambert and Lucas, remember him. Let's hope he remembers how to score. Alright, so we can see the team sheets there. Like I say, all the guys that score against us usually are there. Connor Hunter is in the starting lineup. And of course, Coyote, we tried to sign him and he got poached away from us by Linfield, which was very annoying. Let's show them what we're capable of. I can get on board with that. Yeah, now, of course, last time we played them, we did get a 2-2 draw. I think we came back from 2-0 down. And I think, if I remember correctly, we started with wingers and then we switched to 2 up top. So I've kind of gone halfway between the two. I mean, obviously we're not playing with wingers, but keeping the DM in there and also having the 2 up top. So it's a bit of a halfway house in terms of tactics, trying to figure out, keep us solidly defensive, because a point is enough here for us, let's not forget. But also still having that 2-man up top threat, and hoping, of course, that Lucas and Melvin Lambert will take a chance if it comes along. We've got a goal kick here. Taylor for Coyle. Now, we are sitting, the reason we've got Coyle and Edgar, A, is to try and keep the main 3 fresh for Carrick Rangers, but they're both very slow, but very, very strong in the air. So we're sitting deep and narrow. We're going to try and make them go wide and cross it in, and then back our boys to head it away for us. So that's the plan. I think we might be able to see here if it is going to work. Cundell's done quite well there. Back for own goal Gallagher. It could be the last time we see him in a Welders shirt. Not sure if he's going to be around next season. Lucas has done brilliantly. He's got Lambert in the box. Now, Lucas doesn't tend to pass. Is he going to do it here? It doesn't look like he is he? Is he going to unleash? Oh, not a mile away. And you've got to say, it wasn't a great chance, but it was probably the best chance of the game so far. Let's give them some more encouragement. If we can get the half-time at 0-0, I can ruin everything with my half-time team talk and then regret everything. Gallagher gives it away there, though. This is what we don't want. Edgar with a decent tackle. Lavery, who always scores against us, has smashed one in. And we're 1-0 down. And it comes down a little bit there to Gallagher, doesn't it? That is one position I do think we need to... I mean, Lavery won it back for them. It is a position we need to look to strengthen. It was a good tackle from Edgar. It's a little bit unlucky. Taylor, he doesn't always... That's gone straight in the middle of the goal. He doesn't always cover you or fill you with faith, does he? I mean, obviously there are better goalkeepers that we could get. I know there was sort of comments last time with the penalty shootout where he probably should have saved a couple of them. What do we want to say? Let's point our finger at something else in the second half. The problem, obviously, is that the level that we're at. I mean, he's as good a goalkeeper as we've had. But yeah, I mean, all these players obviously can be improved upon. So it's one of those things. I'm not actively looking for a goalkeeper, but if one comes along, obviously we'll look to sign them. There's a good ball in. Lambert is there, and Lambert just over the bar. We've looked like we've had a threat, haven't we? We haven't looked hopeless, which is good. Lan is winning as well. I mean, if we keep the goals down, then we've kind of done half the job, haven't we? I wonder if this time we need to look to switch, and instead of moving from wingers to 2 up top, we look to do the reverse of that. The problem with that is that it probably means we have to open ourselves up a little bit, and our centre-backs aren't really for that. But let's go and have a go at it. We've got nothing to lose. We're not going to get an absolute hiding, which is my biggest fear coming into this one. No, we want this. So what we might do, let me think about this. Okay, so we've made 2 subs. We've taken off Lucas and Ebioe, who just doesn't play well in big games, does he? I really don't know if he's going to be worth keeping for us, to be honest, even though he is clearly a very decent player for our level. So they've gone off. Gowan and Fitzpatrick have come on to play as the wingers. Melvin Lambert will continue up top, and we've kept Gallagher on the field just to make sure that we're not going to concede or lessen the chances anyway of conceding another goal. Taylor with what looks to be a free kick. Forward for Kundell, loses out, and, well, this is not exactly what we wanted, is it? Lavery's through, Lavery scores, because that's what he does against us. And that will just about be that. Let's try a berating. Let me know what you guys think, if I've done the right thing in not playing the strongest team. It's 3 games in a week. So, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If we'd hung on for 0-0 here, then it would have looked like a masterstroke. Obviously, we haven't done that, so you start to doubt yourself. I mean, the proof will be in the pudding one that if we get the job done against Carrick Rangers, then that'll be fine. And of course, we will realistically only need a point against them. If we need that, of course, Glentoran will have to go and win their last game. I'm not sure if it's going to be against Linfield. I think they've already played them. Is that a penalty? Oh, Jesus, come on. That looked a clean tackle, didn't it? The ball seemed to go out pretty cleanly. Taylor, we know he doesn't save penalties. It's 3-0 all of a sudden. And, well, I think if we've learnt one thing from this, let's just give it a calm down. It's that we don't play wingers against Linfield. Of course, we were 2-0 down with them last time we played them, and, well, we've conceded 2 relatively quickly. And possibly counting. Can we get that away? No, we can't. Connor Hunter, you bastard, has come back to score against us. And suddenly the goal difference is taking a bit of a hit here, isn't it? It's run away from us late, this one. Yeah, wingers was clearly a mistake, but there we go. They're looking anxious and nervous. Can we give it a demand more? It doesn't matter. We've been absolutely smashed. But ultimately, that wasn't our season. The main thing we needed to do was beat Ballymena, and we did that. So there we go. We can see the league table coming into the final game of the season. We have a goal difference of +6 over Glentoran. And that should be enough. Let's be honest. It should be enough, but you do never know. What's happening here? Oh, he's just checking on his low knee. That's fine. The run for Linfield goes on. Now let's go check these final day fixtures. So Glentoran are away to Ballymena. We are away to Carrick Rangers. We just need to match their result. If we get a point, actually that'll be, as I said, that'll more or less be enough, depending obviously, unless they go and absolutely smash Ballymena. But in terms of actual, points on the table, as long as we match their result, we will be third, and then we just need to make sure Linfield go and beat Coleraine in the Irish Cup. So that'll do it for today. If you have enjoyed that, please do hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to go and vote for your Viewers Player of the Year. And I'll see you next time as we wrap up the season. And hopefully we'll secure third. Take care.